Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And you can kind of tell by the way that the sky looks and just the way it felt out there today that things are changing. Beautiful shot though, isn't it? From our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera, we call it the cross camera. And that's pretty much describes our day, a mix of clouds and some blue sky out there. Also snow, and we did see that up in Okanagan County around Tenasket, Twisp, Winthrop area, Stevens Pass. Also traction tires required. And here we go, significant snow is possible. Not so much tomorrow. Tomorrow will be another fairly quiet weather day. But then we will get snowy. In fact, we are right in the bullseye. We're seeing a combination of cold air coming down from the north and a big storm system to the west. And boy, that's the recipe for a good snow event. And that's what we expect on Friday. Maybe 2 to 4 inches or a little bit more possible by Friday night. And the other big news, we are going to get cold. And we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. We'll have highlights from Governor Jay Inslee's press conference yesterday regarding COVID-19. The Grant County Health District says its tracking of COVID-19 cases shows most of the county's new positive tests are coming from people who got it from someone in the same household. And residents of the Wenatchee Valley can now receive COVID-19 news straight to their inbox. But first we begin tonight. A Wenatchee woman was bitten by a dog Monday while hiking the Dry Gulch Trail in Wenatchee. Wenatchee Animal Care and Control says the attack happened around 9:30 a.m. when the woman says a large black and silver long wired-haired dog approached her and then proceeded to bite her on the back of the arm. The woman reported that after the incident, the dog returned to a medium-build Caucasian male in his 50s or 60s with gray hair who then leashed the dog, got into an older royal blue Chevy Suburban, and left the trailhead. If you have any possible information to help identify the dog or its owner, please contact Animal Care and Control. That number is 509-662-9577. Well, with COVID-19 hotspots breaking out at the University of Washington and other state college campuses, Governor Jay Inslee took steps yesterday to increase social distancing in dormitories and off-campus housing. In a press conference on Tuesday, Inslee said he'll limit the number of residents in sleeping areas and common areas.
In order to provide some protection, we're also requiring that colleges provide isolation and quarantine facilities to fraternity, sorority, and other group houses, and students who live in shared housing in close proximity to campus, and students living in dorms, and personnel if they don't have a place to go. Students could be charged for the costs associated with that on a sliding scale. Now, institutions of higher education that don't have residential facilities, we still need them to develop a plan to provide for the isolation and quarantine needs of their students who are unable to isolate or quarantine in their usual residence. So they need to work with their local health authorities on a plan for that.
Meanwhile, the Grant County Health District says its tracking of COVID-19 cases shows most of the county's new positive tests are coming from people who got it from someone in the same household. But the second most new cases are showing up in people with no links to confirmed cases. The district's data is from September 15th to October 16th, when the county was in the midst of a significant outbreak. During that 32-day period, the county reported 614 new cases, or just over 19 new positive tests per day. The district said most of the people who have tested positive have shown symptoms, with only 17% asymptomatic. Grant County is currently at 277 cases per 100,000 residents. That's over the past 14 days, by far the highest rate of new cases in north central Washington and one of the highest in all of the state. Residents of the Wenatchee Valley can now receive COVID-19 news straight to their inbox. The Chelan Douglas Health District has launched a weekly community newsletter aimed at keeping people up to date and prepared during the pandemic. The second edition of the email newsletter went out yesterday. It features links, tips, and the latest informational video from Dr. Malcolm Butler, the district's chief health officer. The newsletter goes out in both English and Spanish. You can subscribe through the district's website at cdhd.wa.gov. Coming up next, Confluent Health is opening a new emergency department at its Mayor's campus on Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee. Apple Blossom Festival organizers are already kicking off the 2021 version of the community celebration with a call for girls interested in running for royalty. And one thing the COVID-19 pandemic can't stop is the Wenatchee Valley's annual Day of Good Deeds. We'll have more on that. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hope, oxygen to your soul, color in your world, a light to your future.
Difficult to qualify and quantify,
Yet you know when it's lacking.
So many things have promised us hope.
but have left us feeling hopeless and empty.
Real hope is able to stand firm even on the darkest day of the soul and still say with the prophet Jeremiah,
"For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you.
Plans to give you a hope and a future.
The Apostle Paul declared to a young church in Rome,
May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace."
as you trust in him.
so that you may overflow with hope.
By the power of the Holy Spirit.
If our God is a God of hope, then maybe it's your turn to experience a hope that cannot be shaken.
or destroyed.
And maybe it's time to hope again.
Maybe it's time to become a generation of hope.
What if the same God that raised Christ Jesus from the dead
And resurrect your hope.
Maybe it's time to hope again.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
Welcome back. In another news, Confluence Health is opening a new emergency department at its Mayor's campus on Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee. The new 9,500 square foot emergency facility will be in the space currently occupied by Confluence's walk-in clinic. The clinic will remain in the same building but be moved to the east end. Confluence says the new emergency department will have an on-site CT scanner, ultrasound, X-ray, and laboratory services. The new emergency department is expected to serve up to 50 patients per day. The opening of the facility is planned for November 20th. Apple Blossom Festival organizers are already kicking off the 2021 version of the community celebration with a call for girls interested in running for royalty. There will be a mandatory meeting November 10th of candidates, with participants required to go to appleblossom.org to sign up. Parents and senior girls can call for more information at 662-3616. Well, one thing the COVID-19 pandemic can't stop is the Wenatchee Valley's annual Day of Good Deeds. The 30th edition of Make a Difference Day is Saturday, with worthwhile projects planned throughout the region. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley's Dan Kuntz has been interviewing organizers and participants all week, including Linda Schlosser, advisor of the Rainbow Assembly for Girls, which is leading an effort to help the children of fire victims.
We are doing Kids in Need, fire victims. So many times we provide, as adults, donations to our adults we forget about the kids. And so we got to talking about it and decided that since it was Make a Difference Day, it would be a good idea to make sure that children were addressed. And we really don't care what age of child, but some of the things that we are asking for, we want to make sure they're new items.
Yep.
We also want to make sure that you don't give us items that require batteries or electricity.
Why is that?
Well, with some of these families, they've lost everything. Electricity is not readily available.
Understandable.
And the money that it costs to replace batteries probably would be better spent on things they need to put their lives back together with.
Kids are really good about hiding their emotions. You know, they want to be strong because mom and dad are strong. But this is hard. This is emotionally hard for these kids, what they've gone through with losing their homes and their homesteads.
One of the stories I heard just recently was there was a little boy, as they were leaving their house, it was on fire. It was burning. And he was sad wherever they ended up. And they asked him why, and he says, I forgot my shoes.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah.
But we kind of forget the kids need something to keep them busy while parents are digging through the rubble, reestablishing what they need.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, after its major remodel, the Wenatchee Public Library at 310 Douglas Street is now reopened, at least symbolically. Local officials cut the ribbon on the new building and hosted a virtual tour of the interior yesterday. Only limited occupancy is allowed right now due to the COVID-19 crisis. The facelift was largely funded by $1.5 million in donations raised by the Friends of the Wenatchee Public Library.
Congratulations to the library board and all their volunteers. Really congratulations to the community. There's a lot of community money put into this library. The libraries are integral parts of the community, so I will tell you this, I did cheat and got into the building for a little while about 10 minutes ago. When you all get in there, it is a special place.
Our group knew that the original investment cost that was set was not going to be enough, so we started a campaign to raise $1.5 million. Through the years, our capital campaign ran into many problems, from added costs outside the scope of the fundraising and difficulty with grants. But when issues came up that could derail or shrink the project, the board of NCW Libraries stepped up. We're grateful for the support And we knew from the beginning that when this project was completed, that we would have a building which would serve our community for many years.
This fundraising campaign and this remodel is the result of incredible partnerships between dozens and dozens of entities, really first and foremost between the Friends of the Public Library, North Central Washington Libraries, and the City of Wenatchee, and of course all of the contractors and subcontractors who helped us through all of the details. Hundreds of donors came forward to offer their hard work, hard-earned treasures to make this happen. The staff of NCW Libraries and the Friends of the Library wrote grants, and we received money from government agencies as well as private foundations. All of this hard work and effort is the result of us all believing in the importance of a library to a community.
That library looks great, doesn't it? Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. We talked about big changes all the way back to last week, and boy, they're coming in the next couple of days. We'll get to that in a second, I should say. Beautiful look outside our weather window this afternoon. We did see some clouds and some snow showers in some places, especially to our north. Stevens Pass picked up a good amount of snow. Also around the Tonasket, Winthrop, Twisp area, snow pretty much since yesterday up that way. Nothing here. We did see a mix of blue sky and those clouds and a beautiful looking fall day out there. It was a little bit cool out there today, and with that breeze, boy, it sure felt like fall, didn't it? Unofficially, high temperature in the Wenatchee area today, 53 degrees, and that's 5 degrees below where we should be at 58 for this time of year. Low temperature about where we should be for this time of year. We started our day today at 37 degrees. Record high 71 set in 1972. Record low 27, and that was in 1984. Sunrise this morning 7:29. This is our last day that we'll see sunset after 6 o'clock, and tonight it'll be at 6:01. Let's take a look now and see how your Thursday shapes up, and things are still going to cool down. Not a big cool down from today into tomorrow, but we will see a steady increase in clouds from that storm system moving in tomorrow. 52 Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. A little bit cooler for Ellensburg, Wenatchee, also Eniat, Chelan, about 50 degrees, and a cool one for you folks up in Lake Wenatchee tomorrow with a high temperature of 45. Let's go through the motions now, and I'll show you how the dynamics will shape up to bring us the cold and the snow. Tonight, fairly quiet. We'll see mostly clear skies. It will be cold, and yeah, widespread frost. If you have fragile foliage and plants out in your yard, maybe still in your garden, probably want to take care of those tonight. For Thursday, increasing clouds, a light breeze tomorrow, and cool. High pressure will remain anchored off the Pacific coast, but here comes that polar vortex, the Arctic air that's moving down, and that will really barrel in on us on Friday. A 90% chance of snow, 2 to 4 inches possible, and much colder, large area of snow throughout the Pacific Northwest as that blue and that cold air sags south even a little bit farther on Friday. This system will move through rather quickly. It's going to move all the way into Montana and the Dakotas on Saturday, leaving behind mostly clear skies, but still funneling down is that cold air, and it's going to be a cold weekend. Highs on Saturday, maybe 40 degrees. We're only going to be in the 30s on Friday. Sunday, sunny. Going to be kind of deceiving, though, with temperatures still well below normal. Look how far south this cold air dips by Sunday, all the way into the panhandle of Texas on Sunday. As we get into our Monday forecast, mostly sunny, and yeah, we're going to stay on the chilly side. In fact, all of us will throughout the west and north central part of the country. You can see that blue, and that is just frigid air. Some locations in Montana on Monday and into Tuesday will be below zero for overnight lows. Mostly sunny for us here at home on Tuesday. High pressure will still keep most of the clouds cleared out, but that colder air is still funneling down from Canada, and we will warm up just a little bit as we get into Tuesday with high temperatures then, maybe 45 degrees. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. below freezing tonight. 31 degrees, 51 tomorrow, 32 our overnight low. And this is our weather day. A 90% chance of snow. Remember, 2 to 4 inches of snow is possible, and that'll make travel around the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington a little tricky for Friday. 29 the overnight low, 40 for Saturday. Look at that low, 22 overnight on Saturday. We could set some overnight records on Sunday and once again into Monday. 39 your high Sunday, 41 on Monday, and by the time we get into Tuesday, a little bit warmer, as I mentioned, with a high temperature then of only 45 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. The Dodgers are up 1-0 in the World Series after handling Tampa Bay last night, 8-3 in Game 1 in Arlington, Texas. Cody Bellinger gave Los Angeles the early lead with a 2-run homer in the 4th. Dodgers added 4 more in the 5th, bringing 9 men to the plate and chasing Rays starter Tyler Glasnow from the game. Mookie Betts finished the game 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs, and an RBI. Betts also stole 2 bases in that 4-run 5th for LA and says he does what he can to help his team.
Stolen bases are a thing for me. That's how I create runs. That's how I cause a little havoc on the bases, and so I take pride in stealing bases. And once I get on the base pass, I'm just trying to touch home, and however I get there is how I get there. But I'm going to be aggressive on the base pass. Joey was pretty close, so I knew I had to work really hard on the secondary and be ready for contact. So I mean, I think they played it pretty good. I was able to go as soon as the ball was hit, and fortunately I think he had to move to his right a little bit. Had to make a tough throw, and so it was just it all kind of unfolded in a good way.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts says Betts was the spark plug that fired up the offense.
I think that Oppo home run was pretty impressive. He's got some pull side hits, but just going dead right was pretty impressive. Certainly that stolen base was impressive. We've seen that, but I think that Oppo dead right was pretty impressive. He's old school, man. He likes to talk baseball, talk to his teammates, watch the game, and I just love it, and I think it keeps his teammates engaged, keeps him engaged, and keeps guys on the bench. And just to hear the back and forth with the players between the hitting guys and also on the defensive side when you're talking about positioning and things like that, for me as a coach, it's just great to hear that, and I think that he brings a lot of that out in our players as well.
Max Muncy was also 2 for 4 at the plate with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Former Mariner Chris Taylor, 2 for 3 with an RBI as well for Los Angeles. Clayton Kershaw, meanwhile, on the mound, dominant to earn the victory. He went 6 innings, allowed just 1 run on 2 hits with 8 strikeouts and a walk. He says he was happy to get over his first inning struggles.
Oh, it was just a great game for the whole team, really. I kept us in it long enough there for them to break it open in the 4th or 5th, whatever inning that was. And, I was fortunate to make it through that first. I was bouncing my slider like 48 feet and didn't quite make the adjustment until the 2nd inning. So I'm fortunate to make it through that. But, really after the first, felt pretty good with everything. We have a job to do as starting pitchers, and we get 1 day out of 5 to go out and help our team. So, it doesn't really change my thinking or thought process on that day, but yeah, I mean, when you're on a great team, it makes it easier to have success.
Game 2 on right now on Fox as LA was going with Tony Gonsolin against Tampa Bay's Blake Snell as the World Series continues. Well, the Seahawks have made some moves on its roster and practice squads As it prepares for Arizona this weekend, Demarius Randall has officially been moved to the 53-man roster from the practice squad after Lano Hill was placed on the injury reserve with a back injury. In addition, Seattle also added a pair of veteran linebackers to the practice squad, signing Michael Kendricks. Remember him, he started 14 games a year ago for Seattle. And Ray Armstrong, a former Cowboy, 49er, Giant, Raider, Ram, and Brown, is now on the Seahawks practice squad. Well, you know, you can always find some fun stuff on the Seahawks website, Seahawks.com. Besides player and coach interviews from the current team, as well as highlights from games, fans can find videos like this one highlighting a former player who became a Hall of Famer.
All I wanted to do was to get my feet in the door and come here and represent the number 6 pick and get the respect of the players and come out there and do my job.
For me personally, it was amazing coming from probably a small town, coming here. You know, I played at Florida State, so I was used to playing in the crowd, but at that time, I didn't know nothing about the Seattle crowd and how the fans love their Seahawks. So when I walked out there, I was just saying to myself, don't mess up. But, you know, just being part of this fan base for so long, everywhere I played at the Kingdom, I played at Husky Stadium. So the fan has been true from day one. No matter how bad the team has been, the fan base has always supported the team and cheered those guys on. I have to go back to the 2005 NFC Championship game. I think that was the year that things kind of turned around for us as far as our organization. You know, we was playing pretty good, but then we got the #1 seed, and then we was able to play the NFC Championship game here, and we was already known as a loud crowd. So every time that we came off the field, it was so loud that we couldn't even hear. I would say that game was probably one of the loudest games where we said that this is definitely a home field advantage. It never stops, so it's amazing how this fan base can continually keep that noise going throughout the game. You know, some guys say, well, they can't keep that noise throughout, but this fan base, definitely the 12s, can definitely keep that noise base the whole time.
We kind of set the standard, I guess you would say, you know, trying to do something special here, to take this franchise to the first ever Super Bowl. So to be a part of that, to be able to say that I had a key to what was going on with the team at that time, so to be a part of that was great. You feel like you did everything you could do on the football field, and you did it at a very high level. So to be with that group of guys and to say, hey, I'm a Hall of Famer, it's totally awesome. I'm pretty blessed.
Man, having Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson on that left side of the line was something else. We'll have more from Coach Carroll and players tomorrow as practice continues at the VMAC in Renton as Seattle prepares to travel to Arizona for a 1:05 afternoon game on Sunday. Finally, the Wenatchee Wild still don't know if they'll be able to drop the puck in the British Columbia Hockey League this year. In fact, they'll be heading out of state this week just to scrimmage. After 2 weeks of practice here in Wenatchee, the Wild will head for Coeur d'Alene, Idaho tomorrow and Friday in order to scrimmage. The Wild versus Wild games will be played at Frontier Ice Arena on tomorrow at 12:15, Friday at 7:15. Even though the Safe Start plan has allowed Chelan County to enter into Phase 2, restrictions will not allow for actual hockey to be played at the Town Toyota Center. Phase 3 necessary for that. Phase 4 to have any fans. We shall see. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks a bunch, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Join me on Thursday's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We will have more with Make a Difference Day. I had a good chance to talk via Skype with our friends at the Red Cross. You want to be ready for anything that may happen, and the Red Cross is going to be hosting a virtual seminar on how you can prepare yourself for natural disasters. It's their contribution to Make a Difference Day. We'll have that conversation for you on Thursday, plus more World Series talk and everything you need to start your Thursday morning live and local. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll be watching, and that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. Looking for great food that's also an experience? Come on out to Blueberry Hills in Manson. Open year-round and named one of the top 4 restaurants in the state worth the drive for breakfast by the Seattle Times. Serving down-home scratch country cooking with huge portions at family-friendly prices. Great food and a fun experience for the whole family, and definitely worth the drive. For more information, check our website at wildaboutberries.com.